Welcome to the show that talks about Tulsa. People making a difference in the Tulsa community. Special guest interviews spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about. The hot topics and more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use with your host, Mr. Charles Harper and Miss Damali Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, or on www.KBOB899.com, or tuning into any of the News You Can Use media networks, which are powered by World One Development. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Damali Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, August 13th, 2025. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media network, powered by World One Development. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mama and tell them you can dial in at 918-856-3873 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
So on today's show, y'all know what it is. It's the medical report with Dr. Andre Ferdue. Today, we're going to get updates on how to keep your kids healthy as they start school and how media plays a role in mental health of its viewers and listeners.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also live in studio, Sunny is here, y'all. She didn't sit for representing. She is here with Fox 23 News. She's stopping by to visit our show. We'll find out what is going on in the mainstream media and how that helps us with our mental health.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topic, which is a state superintendent candidate has been announced.
Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about birthdays and more.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media network, powered by World One Development. Put on your seatbelt. We'll be right back, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the all-new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive. Reaching the community, the Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, Tulsa, I see you here in Tulsa.
The 36th Street North Event Center is proud to kick off another great season of social gatherings with family and friends. And no matter what the size of your next event, the 36th Street North Event Center has you covered. From event decor to live DJs, even catering, and a world-class sound and lighting system, 36th Street North has your event covered. We offer a state-of-the-art event booking and planning process from start to finish. And whether you're hosting 100 or 1,000, 36th Street North Event Center is the premier event center of North Tulsa, located at 1125 East 36th Street North. Share the experience at 36th Street North Event Center and see why we are the number one choice for upscale events. From weddings to birthdays, corporate functions, holiday parties, and so much more. Visit us today at 36theventcenter.com or call and reserve your spot at 918-200-9046.
KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development. You can use Charles and Damali, and we are back.
We are back. So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
What's going on, family? I'm Charles Harper, Chief Executive Officer of World One Development, which includes fitting back in EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and NYCU.FM. My job, because the world wants to know, is to provide leadership for all aspects of World World One Development with the emphasis on long-term goals, growth, profit, and a return on that investment. I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Chief Operating Officer for World One Development. And my job is designing and implementing business operations and establishing policies that promote company culture and vision. I am also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, please inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I am also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
Damali, what's up?
Nothing much. Work.
Man, it's busy. It's a buzz. It's a vibe all around Tulsa right now.
Absolutely.
Still warm, but it's better.
Yeah.
Since that rain came through, it's a little bit better.
A smidge.
It's still
Yeah.
a little muggy out there.
Yeah.
So if y'all out there, y'all be careful. People out there riding, Damali got their shades on.
Yeah.
They're at the car wash.
Yeah.
It's lunch break, and they're going to hang out with us for a little bit.
Absolutely. We're excited because, like Charles said, there is a lot of things going on. So we're going to tell you guys about our weekend.
Oh, man.
It's crazy. So we actually started last week on Thursday. We appeared on KTUL TV, Channel 8, to talk about the Spreading Hope Back to School Bash.
Yes.
You guys see I'm sporting my EduRate gear for those of you who are watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube, because, our bash is going to be happening on Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
The biggest one, the largest one.
Yeah. So we're excited. We normally give somewhere upwards of 1,200 backpacks away with school supplies. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, but we actually did record that. So it's going to be airing on Friday.
Yes.
On KTUL TV. So you guys make sure that you tune in the morning to watch that segment where we talk about the back to school event. Jeremiah was on, Jeremiah does Two Dogs radio show right here on the station. And Uncle Bobby is a part of this particular back to school event. And so we, talked about it, we're able to share with community about what's going to be going on. So you guys make sure you tune in because there's some great stuff.
Just like that. But man, we stayed busy on Friday.
Absolutely. Plenty busy. So Friday, we had the opportunity of hosting or welcoming the most worshipful National Grand Lodge to Tulsa.
Right.
It was, I'm telling you, this was an experience that I had, I wouldn't trade for anything.
You wasn't ready?
No, and I was not ready because this was just all of their national heads of, the different cabinets and officers and all of that. But it was just so many of them.
I know.
I was like, oh my God. And then when we got to talking to them, we realized that they were representing 25 different states, plus they had a delegation from the Bahamas.
I know, and then most of them had never been to Tulsa.
Never been
so
to
I don't know how
Blackwater.
y'all feel, but when you see about 400 people and their leaders, and they are eager to get to your city,
man,
you got to try to find a way to deliver for Tulsa.
Man,
you know
so we had to be on 90 to, make sure that we took care of them. And so, we really want to say thank you to their National Secretary, Mr. Marion Mack, who requested our presence to speak to the organization. And we basically welcomed them into Black Wall Street. But like I said, you never know who's watching you.
Absolutely.
So out of all the people in Tulsa, we got chosen to go.
When they called, I was like, we know some other people.
Yeah.
They said, no, we've been looking y'all up. We've been looking y'all up. And I'm like, what? For real? What y'all looking for? They said, no, we want you guys to welcome, because we built on community service. We're trying to get our people engaged, and we feel like that y'all exemplify that. So I felt pretty honored.
I did too.
Welcome them. So we told them all of what we do, and they took their show on the road with us, Damali.
Yes, they absolutely did. So shout out to Nico Cook for actually helping, us to coordinate all of this. But when Charles said we took the show on the road, that's what we absolutely did. So we told you guys that last week we were going to be hosting a back to school bash over at Lacey Park. Right. Well, guess what? They pulled up. And they brought their youth, and they also brought school supplies and helped pass out school supplies.
Right. I love that.
I'm like, that is so awesome. So, they were big on actually coming to our city and making an economic impact, not just being in the city for their workshop that they were actually putting on. So they did a phenomenal job. They worked over there with Chavez Miller and the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma.
Hey, say that one more time.
Phi Beta Sigma.
Just like that. Blue Phi. All
yes.
right.
And then we also want to give a shout out to Cody Ransom because he actually did tours for us. Right. So he took them on the Black Wall Street tour, and they had a really good time. I mean, that was the buzz on Sunday when we saw them again.
I know, and I love, like you said, we talked about the block party at Lacey Park because our superintendent pulled up, a lot of the teachers, a lot of the vendors. They had a little concert with O'Malley B. Yeah. So it was like a festival.
Rubicon's
was there with the potatoes. So, hey, it was a treat. And I love the way the diversity and everything looked in the spot. So it was really, really cool. Steven pulled up on us.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? He had his stuff on. You know, he came out for a little bit. So just shout out to the family for getting these kids ready to get back to school, because they came not ready, but when they left, they said they was ready.
Yes.
They had their backpacks, their supplies, they was ready to go.
Absolutely. And then on Sunday, we were able to actually attend church at the historic Vernon AME Church. And about 250 of their members showed up at church.
We all go to church now. So when 200 people show up,
man,
you know what I'm talking about? It's a little different.
This is even the bigger thing. So we ended up having to have church in the fellowship hall because the AC, you know, Vernon is old. And so, you know, the oldest Black church in Tulsa, or one of the oldest. And so the AC was kind of suspect. So they ended up having church in the fellowship hall. Filled this fellowship hall to capacity, but they came and actually gave a $1,600 donation
to help
that they collected cash. Now,
on the spot.
On the spot. And told them, you know, please use this to get your AC repaired.
Wow. I know.
So wasn't that amazing? I mean, I'm telling you, it has just been an amazing weekend. On Sunday night, we attended their banquet.
No, I got to say one thing, because I got there now. I was running. I was coming in hot.
Yeah.
But it was so packed in the fellowship hall. I wasn't even really all the way in the fellowship hall. No, so I had one leg in the cool air. My other leg was outside in the street. Right. I couldn't even get all the way in the fellowship hall. It was that packed to capacity. So, but Pastor French at Amaze did an amazing job of welcoming them. I was trying to get my hands on a little bit of that money. That was a lot of money. I'll just be honest now. Like, can I get 10% or something for my effort or something? But we took pictures outside of the building. They were so excited. So I just want to say, Tulsa, if you don't know, people are extremely excited about Tulsa, Oklahoma. They love the history. They love the people. And when they was getting ready to leave, they were in tears. They was like, I have never received so much love. And I'm talking about Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, California, Louisiana, Georgia. You just name it. They was here and having a good time.
Yeah, so it was amazing. And then that evening at Mayor Nichols, we were able to get him to come over and speak to the entire body.
Right.
And so that was amazing at their banquet. And attorney Stephanie Johnson.
Yeah, Jackson.
I'm sorry, pulled up. And so she actually did a speech there. And so it was just the entire Black Wall Street experience was just amazing for the entire weekend. We absolutely had a phenomenal time. All of them are wanting to come back because they want to still contribute in some kind of way. And a lot of them are wanting to invest and figuring out how they can invest in Black Wall Street.
And I'm going to say too, don't take it for granted if you have relationships like with your local officials, because when the mayor left, like the leaders was like, that's my first time sitting by a mayor. People's like, I'm not going to wash my hands again. I was like, well, wait a minute. In Tulsa, our local officials are cool. You can wash your hand because he will shake it again.
Yes.
But he did give a phenomenal speech. Welcoming them to the city, thanking them for all the stuff they did. He had did his homework too.
Yeah,
he was tracking them. I'm like, was you tracking?
Mayor cold.
He cold, so he knew all the stuff they had been doing. But to have those 300 all dressed up, they had all their crowns on. Damali was trying to get a crown. Ooh, I said, girl, you got to do something to get a crown. But anyway, go to our Facebook page. All the pictures, the videos, and all that stuff is there.
Absolutely. They want to give a shout out to the Solid Foundation. They actually received $2,000 from this organization for the purchase of drums for their music program. So just for all of you out there who are listening, if you are wanting to have a Black Wall Street experience, if you're coming to Tulsa, then hit us up. We got you. We'll take care of you. Yes. So before we get started, we want to send prayers out to the Foster family on the loss of Deirdre, Dee. Everybody knows her as Dee Foster. You remember back in February, we told you my adopted brother, Jimmy Foster, which is her biological brother, was hit by a car and lost his life. And now 6 months later, she has passed away. So it's been a tough year for the Foster. So we want to make sure that we are lifting that family up in prayer. We also want to send out prayers to the family, friends, and fans of Dr. Danielle Spencer.
Oh, man.
Best known as D. On What's Happening. Y'all remember What's Happening? That was my favorite show.
My show. What's Happening? Rerun coming in doing this dance with his hat on. And
you better ask somebody.
I saw that. I was like, man.
Yes. She lost her battle with cancer.
Right.
At the age of 60.
Yeah.
So it's been a tough weekend. Now
but we're gonna stick together. We're gonna hang in there and we're gonna get through, y'all.
Family that prays together stays together.
Hey, whatever y'all need, we are here for you right here on News You Can Use.
All right, let's hit this Black History trivia. We ready? You ready to make it happen?
Let's do it.
All right.
Get your
Black
thinking caps
history
on.
trivia. No
Man,
Googling.
We got
No
a couple
Googling.
thousand people on already. I
Okay.
see y'all. I'm gonna get some shout outs. Hold on. Get
Oh.
your thinking cap on first.
Okay.
Okay.
Black history trivia. Who was the African American businesswoman, inventor, and philanthropist that became a millionaire from cosmetics for African American women? Was it A, Madam C.J. Walker? Was it B, Annie Minerva Turnbow Malone? Was it C, Harriet Tubman? Or was it D, Maggie Lena Walker?
You know, when a person laugh like that means they don't know. So what you can do for me is read it one more time, just a little bit slower. Y'all come on the live. I see y'all all on the live. What's y'all answer? Don't be looking at me. Let's read it one more time, and I'm gonna be ready.
Okay, here we go. One more time. Black history trivia. Who was the African American businesswoman, inventor, and philanthropist that became a millionaire from cosmetics for African American women? Was it A, Madam C.J. Walker? Was it B, Annie Minerva Turnbow Malone? Was it C, Harriet Tubman? Or was it D, Maggie Lena Walker?
On the live, I see A.
You see A.
And then,
Somebody says
Patricia
A.
Griffin said A. Uncle Brian said A.
Okay.
And A, man, I'm gonna stick with that. You know,
You're going A too?
right. I'm gonna go with the flow
Charles,
of that.
Uncle Brian, and who else was it?
Patricia.
Okay.
Thank you to all of our secret listeners, but I also see Kimmy.
Oh, hey, Kimmy.
Tuned in. Was
Daughter
there Miss your
number
brother? Right, he in here.
Oh.
Miss Bang Chow, she's on as well.
Hey.
Miss Ernestine Broom, you know she is royalty.
I
Michael
see.
Smith, welcome to the show.
Morticia
We
said
also,
A.
everybody going A.
Mhm.
I'm feeling better and better. Three times it's a charm. All right, y'all. I know that was a long opening segment. Y'all keep bringing y'all answers in because we got, of course, you know, this is the second Wednesday of the month, but we got another special guest that we was hanging out with, and we got something to say.
Yes.
And she came in and she ready. She's smiling, and we're going to get to it next. Y'all put your seatbelt on. When we come back, we're going to get to our special guest. We're going to talk and have fun. So keep sharing this video, and we'll be right back. This is KBOB 89.9 FM News. You can use Charles and Damali, and we'll be right back with our special guest.
The 36th Street North Event Center is proud to kick off another great season of social gatherings with family and friends. And no matter what the size of your next event, the 36th Street North Event Center has you covered. From event decor to live DJs, even catering, and a world-class sound and lighting system, 36th Street North has your event covered. We offer a state-of-the-art event booking and planning process from start to finish. And whether you're hosting 100 or 1,000, 36th Street North Event Center is the premier event center of North Tulsa, located at 1125 East 36th Street North. Share the experience at 36th Street North Event Center and see why we are the #1 choice for upscale events. From weddings to birthdays, corporate functions, holiday parties, and so much more. Visit us today at 36theventcenter.com. or call and reserve your spot at 918-200-9046.
Oh, yes, it's bingo night. Bingo! And the money right. Bingo. It's bingo night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Every first and third Tuesday, starting February 4th, it's bingo night at 36th Street North Event Center. Bingo night. Bingo nights at 36th Street North Event Center. Every first and third Tuesday, with lots of cash and prizes to be given away. Doors will open at 6 p.m. and sessions start at 7 and 8 p.m. Game packs starting at only $25. And you could win big. 36th Street North Event Center, 1125 East 36th Street North. Bingo nights. So grab your auntie and uncles and enjoy bingo nights at the 36th Street North Event Center. Concessions and refreshments will be available. And bingo nights at 36th Street North can be enjoyed in a smoke-free environment. Bingo night every first and third Tuesday starting February 4th at 36th Street North Event Center. For more information, call 918-200-9046. Bingo Nights is presented by the 36th Street North Event Center and NYCU.FM. Cash and prizes are based on minimum attendance requirements.
Chilling on the corner in my 6'4". Hypertension and stress. I don't need no more. 1, 2,
3 into the fault. The doctor's at the door, ready to make an entrance.
The doctor's in.
Doctor, please help us save the world. Oh, yeah. It's time for the medical report with Dr. Andre Perdue. Right here, right now, with Charles and Damali on World One Development's News You Can Use. What's up, Doc?
That is probably my all-time favorite drop. I swear I love
Mine
that
too.
drop.
All right. Doc, how you been doing, man? Welcome back to the show.
Hey, family. You know what? I have missed you guys. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been too long.
I know we all get caught up in the things that we have to do, occupation-wise, family-wise, things of that sort. But it's painful when you can't be with your extended family. So I've missed you guys, and I've missed the audience.
We miss you too. Look like they're missing you because I got 115 text messages. I said, what y'all not gonna do? I told y'all the doc gonna be here. When I came in here, I had to reiterate. They like, are you sure? I said, I'm sure. That's my brother. We talked last night, this morning. He gonna be here. I had the faith. What we're gonna do? We got thousands of people on just here, but then YouTube, of course, we live KBOB and Tubi and all of that. So there's a lot of people rocking with us today, local, national, and international. So we're excited about y'all pulling up with us. Right. Share this video because we're gonna go through some good stuff. But we got another special guest.
We do.
That's live in studio with us, Damali.
So we got the opportunity to hang out with this individual. She actually did a story on us about the trip that we made to Selma, Alabama. So in studio, we have Miss Sunny Lee.
Yeah.
From Fox 23.
Come on.
Yes. Hey.
Thank you guys so much for having me. And this is such a pleasure.
Yes, we're excited that you're here.
You.
Yes.
I did radio for 15 years and I didn't realize how much I missed it till I get to I just have to put my notice in over at Fox 23.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this since there's so many people on here. Y'all know how we are. This is like being at grandma's house, y'all. Yes. We all cousins, and we come home. We gonna hang out, have a good time, have a great conversation. Y'all can ask your questions, and we gonna do our best to answer those questions. Yeah. But what we'll do first, we'll start ladies first. Oh, Sunny, tell the people just a little bit about yourself, whatever you're okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I've been at Fox 23 for just under a year. Before that, I was with Channel 8 for 5 years, and before that, KBOB Radio in Tulsa here for 15. So I've been in Tulsa for just starting 21 years.
So this media conversation is going to be great.
Yes. As soon as you mentioned what we're discussing today, I was like, oh yeah, that explains a lot about my particular state of mind most days.
Just like that. Now I know most know you, but for the few that may not, tell them a little bit about yourself, Doc.
Oh, I'm a humble servant of the Lord first and foremost. My name is Andre Perdue. You folks know me. I've been here in Tulsa for 10 years now. I am the medical director of the neuroscience program at Hillcrest Medical Center, and I'm here to serve.
Okay.
Just like that.
That's funny. He's been here for 10 years and been on this show with us for 5.
I know, half. Yeah. You know, so that's good.
Wow. Okay.
That's good.
Community. That's
I want to shout out Charles' wife. She actually, she and I had a conversation. She was the one who directed me to the show. And, it's been one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Just like that. And that's what I love. People, you can come here from another place, but you can say, I want to engage with community.
Absolutely.
Are you still encouraged by how people doing with their health? Or you know
what? Yes. You know what? We can always be better, but I think that's one of the responsibilities that I have and others in the field of medicine should have, is to just try to continue to pour education into our folks so that they know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. And you know what? As long as we have breath in our body, we can always change. So
absolutely,
should always be encouraged.
Absolutely. So school is getting ready to start. And, what are just a couple of things that parents should be doing to prepare their kids, for school, and, things that they should be doing to prepare themselves, for their children being in school?
Well, I think you should probably look at it 2 ways. One, for kids that are really involved in athletics, I think hydration and a proper dieting, or not so much dieting, but proper intake is important, both with fluids as well as with food. I think, all kids do better when they are properly rested and engaged.
Right.
I think as back in the old days, I remember my mother used to tell me, you going to bed at X time.
Right.
And don't think about coming out of that room to get some water.
Right.
You only got one bathroom break. I think sometimes what will happen, things that are happening now, is that kids have a little bit more latitude in when they make decisions on when they want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And so, and children that do not get proper rest can't focus. Their attention is not the same. Their ability to actually assimilate in class is not the same. And it makes the learning opportunity more difficult for both the teacher as well as the student. So I think it's really important to make sure that we're eating appropriately, that we're hydrating appropriately, that we're getting an appropriate amount of rest. And all kids are involved in video games now.
Right.
Now it's time to shut that off.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, I think it's a good custom during the week. No video games on the weekend. Maybe have an allotted amount of time of an hour or two, whatever you feel comfortable with, as far as letting your child be involved in those type of activities, because it just sucks you into that atmosphere, and it makes it very hard for you to redirect back into your school studies and things of that sort. But also, particularly the video games that are being played now are so visually stimulating; they're almost realistic.
Right.
And so, with all of the bright lights and the shooting and all the other things that are going on, that does change brain chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And so, the images that you're seeing on a video game can be desensitizing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
40, 50 years ago, you didn't hear about as many children committing horrific crimes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you hear about it almost, I won't say daily, but commonly you hear about it now. And I think one of the reasons why is that, now we have video games that glorifying shooting and stealing cars and driving fast and all of the other things that kind of goes along with that. And I know it's hard for us to rewind. We may not want to go back 40, 50 years, and I get that, but you can definitely put some parameters around that to hopefully minimize some of that as much as you can for your children, so that they give them the most fertile ground possible to learn.
Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna ask, because summer hours for kids, but then it's the getting back to school hours for kids.
Yeah.
Now, with us growing up, did y'all have like summertime, you free to go, but then when school start, everything goes back? Kind of how we just gonna do that. So, because we got a lot of young people on too. Yeah. So, kind of maybe how was that for us? And then what did we do to our kids when it was time to make them same adjustments? What about you? You had summer hours versus?
Oh, of course. Yeah. My mom was like, hey, 8:00, we need to be getting baths and we need to be getting ready so that we can get ready, start winding down. Right. We didn't necessarily have to go to bed at 8:00, but just start winding down, getting your school clothes out, getting your backpack together and all that. Cause inevitably, if you don't do that in the morning, it's like, oh no, I don't know where my other shoe is. Oh, I don't know what, and it's all that chaos. And my mom's like, no, I got 5 kids. I ain't doing this times 5. She was like, no way. And so we had to start winding down, getting our stuff together, making sure, usually by 10:00, the whole house is silent, by 10:00. But, it was that wind down time for sure. In the summertime, we just kind of did what we wanted.
I think my mama should have got me, because to be honest, bitch, full transparency. Now we could just
God.
look. My mom mom like, you do
Sonny,
what you.
This is gonna be crazy.
No, I'm just saying, my mom like, y'all can do what you want to do, but let me tell you something. You better be out of this house come 8:00 in the morning. It's on you.
Whatever.
So my mama be coming by, boop, get up. What I tell you. So it don't matter what you want to do. You better navigate yourself. I'm gonna teach y'all independency early. But at 8:00, you had to be out of there. I don't want to hear about no stomach ache. I don't want to hear about no headache. I don't want to hear about I'm hungry. She was set the time to eat breakfast. If you missed that, then you're going to be hungry and you get on out of here.
I had to be out of the house until 8:00 at night. My mom was like, can't you find something to do outside? I'm trying to work in here, Right.
Yeah. Don't even come in.
It's funny.
No, man. I had to come home when the lights came on outside. That's when I had to be back inside.
So what did you do with your kids, though?
Well, mine are a little different. I've had a hard time. You mentioned the video games. My son is 24, and he's still, if I didn't come in and say, hey, knock off the screen time. But my stepdaughter is 9, and I still have to say, turn on. We have all the parameters set on, so YouTube and the videos that she watches are all age appropriate. But even now, I have to come in and say, it's time to turn off the screen, get outside, let's catch some lightning bugs, let's get outside, stretch the legs, go for a ride, whatever.
Yeah. That is funny.
Yeah, for me, I was a latchkey kid. I was raised by my mother. So, and my mother did domestic work.
Yeah.
So there were certain expectations about house cleanliness and how you carry yourself. And the most important thing to me at that time was to please my mother. And so I saw a lot of the heartache my mother had with my older brothers who got married at early ages and didn't necessarily make the best choices. So what kept me in line, besides my mother being very willing to put her foot in my behind, was I was a pleaser. I wanted to please my mother. Regarding our kids, and shout out to my wife if she's listening. My boo,
there you go,
my heart and soul, my queen. We've tried very hard to put parameters around things over the summer. You know what? We let our kids kind of do their thing, the video games and all. But when the school year starts, no video games during the week, and on the weekends, you have a defined amount of time that you can play video games, and your schoolwork has to be done before. It's interesting as you have more children. With my daughter, who is the oldest, and my oldest son, we were more stringent with them than we are with the third. Because the third just thinks of, he can kind of rule a house. And
and the older ones notice that too. They tell you about it too.
All the time.
Until I had to put some hands on it, which I haven't done in quite some time. But it was just different era. You know what? Again, my mother was like, look, you know what? During the summer, you need to be out of the house. But when those street lights come on,
oh man, street lights is universal.
You better be either in the house or you better be running real fast. I should be able to hear you panting as you're running into the house when those street lights come on.
Right.
So different time, different era.
Different time. And so one of the things that and I hear what you guys are saying, and especially Doc, about screen time. So I did a little research, and I found out that among teens with the highest social media usage, 41% of teens rated overall mental health issues as poor or very poor.
Wow.
Wow. It says a lot about it. Doesn't
That's
it?
a lot. And they also say that adolescents ages 12 to 15 who spend more than 3 hours per day on social media face the double risk of experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety.
Not surprising.
Wow.
Not surprised at all about that.
What do y'all think about that? I mean, anxiety and depression, those both, one is heavy, but both?
Well, I mean, I think this is a generation that is very in tune to how they are perceived by the world. During my generation, I was more concerned about how I was perceived by my mother and by my elders. How other kids thought about me did not matter much to me.
Right.
And my mother would say, because you live in this household, you're not
exactly.
They're not responsible for you. I'm responsible for you. So what my opinion is far more important. But there are some real benefits, some great things about Facebook and social media, and there are some absolute positive curses about that.
Right. Yeah.
And the notion that somebody from 12 states over can say something to you and can put you in a position where you want to commit suicide.
Exactly.
There should have been been some parameters built into that system a long time ago that did not happen for a variety of reasons, and we can have a whole nother show on that.
Yes.
But what I try to do with my children is to pour into them just the way my mother poured into me. That listen, you know what? How other people's perceive you doesn't really matter. You have a responsibility to yourself. You have a responsibility to the people that have raised you and that have loved you and have poured into you on how you conduct yourself. What somebody says about you as far as a like or dislike, whether they are a classmate of yours or whether they're somebody from 12 states over, does not matter, because ultimately you're going to have a very finite period of time with that individual. When you graduate from high school, you're going to have a whole nother cluster of friends in college. When you graduate from college, you're going to have a whole different cluster of people that you're going to be working with, and so on and so forth. So,
I think a lot of the problems, it comes from comparison. At least if people get on Facebook and they see this beautiful girl or handsome guy, and they're all buffed out and they're in clothes in a beautiful house and they got a pool behind them. It's like, you don't know how long it took to set that shot up.
Right.
You can't be comparing yourself to. Do you know how
that's
many,
even a real shot.
Exactly. Do you know how many filters I put on my face before I put it on Facebook? Just because I know we get haters. The Facebook posts that come into our TV station. Sometimes they're attacking the stories that we're doing, and that's totally justifiable if they don't agree with the viewpoint or they don't like a new. That's one thing, but we get so many, especially the females on the air, get so much criticism about our appearance, about, you're too fat for TV or your hair's too bad. Oh, I had a lady that wrote me, it's still one of my favorite Yeah,
Yeah,
trolls, exactly.
Yeah.
My favorite Facebook message of all time was a lady that wrote and said, "Well, at least today your chest is sticking out farther than your fat rolls." I'm not
They
kidding.
do that? We don't-
Every
Yeah.
day, and you have to just get a real thick skin, or you're not gonna to last in it. But it makes me wonder what kind of person looks for that negativity,
Right.
takes the time to write it
Mhm.
out, and then post it for the world to see that this is their view of somebody else that they don't know, that they've never interacted with, and it takes a toll on you, even if you try real hard not to let it.
You know, and one of
Wow.
the important things to think about, if somebody is willing to do that, you have to wonder what their physical appearance
Right.
is.
Exactly.
You have to wonder what
Mhm.
their mental appearance is,
Mhm.
because it's real easy to be bold behind a TV screen, or behind a radio, or behind
A keyboard,
a keyboard.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's real easy to be bold. So
Right.
and with that being said, we try to the best of our ability to pour that into our children and our youth, and those of us that are in professional settings. You know what? Everybody uses social media now.
Yes.
Right.
And everybody needs social media.
Right.
But just because of the fact that you may need it, or that you're involved in it, does not mean that you need to carry it with you.
Right.
And I think it's very easy for people to get caught up in, well, you know what, this individual doesn't like me, or I've got multiple dislikes. You don't know what's going on in the life of that individual.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
if they're that willing to spend that amount of time to voice a negative thought, then they have a very negative life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it makes me wonder too about the parameters of Facebook and the what is they call the
Right.
algorithm?
Yes.
Right.
So like sometimes it seems like once one negative post is on there and you interact, then they all start
That is
coming
it.
in.
Yes.
It seems like it tells Facebook, hey, this is a hot topic. So
Yep.
we're going to start just giving you the negative. And
Yes.
so I think that feeds into it too. But yeah, you have to tune it out sometimes and just say these people have a very sad life, and I'm gonna pray for them and feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's
And then-
let's do this, because today it's about media. So
Right.
that's social
Right.
media,
Yeah.
TV. Come on, Damali, because you itching. I see your hand
No,
shaking.
so
Come on. No,
I
just-
was just going to respond to that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I notice is, like, even when you're talking about certain stories that
Yeah.
you guys do, man, I'm not going to lie. I go to read the comments.
Yeah.
Because
Everybody
some
goes straight to the
sometimes-
comments. When you
some
see
of these
something,
comments, because you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to see what people got to say
What people
about
are
this.
saying,
And
yeah.
then sometimes you, like, 4 or 5 comments in, I'm like, oh, now they're taking it way too
Way too
far,
far.
and I get off.
Mhm.
But so I never thought, I guess, about it in the reverse, about how you guys feel as news reporters.
right?
Sitting
Oh.
in the studio, and I never thought about people personally attacking you guys
Because of the story. And so many times that's the case too, is that, people don't, whichever side of the political aisle they sit on, if we
Mhm.
report a story and here's the facts, here's what either the police told us or the officials or the authorities, or here's what was discovered. If they aren't in that mindset to support that person or dislike that person, they come after us. Like we're the ones
Oh,
that are
wow.
spinning
Lash
it.
out at you.
Right.
So it comes a lot of times. It's a
Yeah.
classic case of shooting the messenger.
The messenger,
We're
right.
presenting the news to you the way that we have not put a spin on it. We are presenting it to you, and how you perceive it is your choice.
Mhm.
But they a lot of times will come after us as personalities or people and act like we're the ones that did it or invented it. So
Right.
we get a lot of hate on things like
Yes.
that too.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
it makes
And-
it tough.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about mental health in media.
Yeah.
Whether that's the news media, if that's social media, if
Right.
there's radio. But now it's just like you said, I didn't even know that. We wouldn't even thought that.
Oh yeah.
But that's the beauty of having a conversation about
Sure.
it, is people don't get a chance to know those kind of things, because you can have some of the most positive things going on.
Mhm.
And when you see the negative comments coming in, you're like, oh
You
my
fixate
God.
on that
Mhm.
one bet. You may
Mhm.
have 20 good ones, and then there's somebody writes something nasty, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's where the
That's
mind
the one.
goes.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I guess I guess we should feel blessed, because thankfully we haven't experienced that, and
Believe
so
it or not.
yeah, we have.
Right,
Most
that's
people,
wonderful.
because what we try to do is give people the option, because I know in your field you have to report the news as you see it.
Right.
And with us, we can report, but then we're also sharing and giving folks a choice. Like,
Sure.
hey, this is going on. what do you want to do about it? So people chime in on our live and say, and give their opinions about it. So we don't really have that, thankfully.
Right.
Yeah. Now we have guests that want to come in and they say, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind.
Oh,
now, I don't really know what that means, but on this show, you are welcome to come talk about it, to discuss it, but you can't do this, because guess what? You got that all over the world.
Exactly.
Right.
But you got to have a safe space.
It's been nice for me because I do a segment called Good News.
Love it.
And that was where I met you two wonderful people, was being able to tell your good news. And so thankfully I don't get as much of the hate as a lot of our broadcasters. So I'm a little thankful for that. I'll say that.
That is awesome. Well, so according to, of course, I'm always going to pull some stats, but one of the things that they say about media and just, the issues with media is that they're talking about screen time disrupts sleep patterns. And so they say that 70% of those aged 12 to 18 use their device within 30 minutes of sleep and often report waking up at night due to notifications because they don't even, shut off the notifications.
Let's do this because I think this is a huge debate. Adequate sleep. Doc, I'm glad you're here because you don't want me to have to answer. So we're trying to figure out how much sleep is required and kids versus adults. So when you think about how much sleep are you supposed to be able to operate in capacity without cussing people out on your way to work, on your way home.
There might not be enough sleep for that. There might not be enough sleep.
But for kids, what is adequate sleep? And for adults, what's adequate sleep?
Well, it's hard to say that, hey, you need to have 8 hours sleep.
Right.
Okay. And that's an easy answer. The most important thing about sleep, and forgive me to be a little bit technical here, but sleep is broken down into different cycles. So you have non-rapid eye movement sleep and you have rapid eye movement sleep. And so as you start the evening off, you have longer periods of non-rapid eye movement sleep, which is more shallow sleep. And as you get deeper into your sleep cycle, you have more rapid eye movement sleep, which is deeper sleep. Okay. It's important to go through those phases. Because what will happen is that if you go through those phases, you get to at the end of the evening or in the morning, you have restful sleep because you have been in a deep sleep where your metabolic rates decrease, your mind, you dream during those periods of time. But you know what, you also have the ability you have something called sleep paralysis that allows you to stay in bed. So if you have a bad dream, you don't run out your window. You hear about people or you hear about people who attack their loved one in the middle of the night.
Right.
Well, they have a sleep disorder that prevents them from being essentially having sleep paralysis. And so they're acting out their dreams. And that's a big deal because those people don't sleep well and neither do their mates. But you need to go through the periods of sleep to get to the end goal of having restful sleep. Restful sleep is you wake up in the morning, you feel refreshed. Okay. You feel like, hey, you know what? I can get on with my day, whether it's a good day or bad day, but you can feel like you can get on with your day. Right. To get to that, and I'll use myself as an example. When I was a kid, I needed 8 hours sleep. Right. Okay. Right. You need that because your body needs to recuperate from the things that you've done before. You need that as you're growing. You need that as your mind is forming. So you need more sleep earlier in life than in the middle of your life when we tend to be most productive. Okay. When you get much older, okay. When you get in your 70s, 80s, 90s, you tend to need more sleep too because of the fact your brain and your body are just trying to overcome the natural decay that occurs as we get older.
Right.
Okay. So the big keys for parents is when your child wakes up in the morning, are they rested? Now, if you're a teenager, most of the time you're going to wake up and you're going to be mad about something anyway. Right. Particularly girls. Yeah. But is it restful sleep? If you got kids that are literally dozing off in homeroom and in their first couple of classes, they're not getting restful sleep. If they're not getting restful sleep, now you got to look at why are you not getting restful sleep? So it may be a matter of, hey, you know what? You need to turn off social media and what we do with our children. They leave their phone downstairs in the common area. They don't have them upstairs. Right. That's and so particularly during school. Now, over the summer, we tend to be lax about that. But otherwise, like you don't, no one's going to call you in the middle of the night. If I need you, I'll come get you. Right. So we need to leave your phone down here. But it's a good idea to kind of to back off of the social media and TV and a lot of other things. At least an hour before you go to bed, just so that you can kind of start shutting your mind off. Because if you're playing a video game or you're on social media, your mind is hyped.
Right.
And now you're trying to say, okay, well, in 15 minutes, you need to go to sleep. No one's going to be able to do that.
And let's do this real quick. How do you sleep? Like we saying individually, how do we sleep and why? We're going to start with you, Sonny.
Oh, with me. Oh,
with your
Lord, you don't want me
schedule,
to start.
how does it go? How do you sleep?
Can we turn his headphones off so he can't hear how bad
I did that on purpose.
Well, okay, so I work early in the mornings. I have to be at work at 3 a.m. So I'm up at 1 because, I got to make sure that my hair's done or I'm going to get hateful emails.
Exactly.
So when I get off work, when I'm off air, I come home about noon and I take a nap for a couple of hours and try to get some sleep. And then I should be in bed about 7 or 8 at night, but I can never do that because I got kids and a family and a husband and I'm making dinner. So my sleep is unfortunately broken into 2 chunks, which my doctor tells me is the worst possible thing I could be doing. So see, I'm only 54.
Yeah.
But I look like I'm about 74 because of all those years of doing that. But, yeah. So my sleep is not great, but I do try on the weekends. And when I'm off work, I do get my full 8.5, 9 hours. I'll just say, I don't care if a bomb goes off. Let me keep sleeping.
Leave me alone.
Don't touch my bed.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's really what the definition of shift work is.
Right.
So speaking of my mother actually worked at the post office before she did domestic work. And so she'd have to go in the middle of the night. And what ends up happening is your sleep wake cycle gets completely flipped. There's a reason why our circadian rhythm and why it's easier to sleep at night, because our circadian rhythm is set up with nature. And as things start to shut down and the sun goes down, the moon comes up, everything slows down, it's easier to sleep during those periods of time than during the day where everything is active. Now, you do what you have to do, but that's not as restful a sleep or restorative a sleep as if you have a more natural sleep pattern according to circadian rhythm.
Yeah, and I remember you told, I think the last time we had this, because everybody that know me know I count my hours of sleep. I don't care where I am. People start getting mad. I'm like, wait, hold on now. What time? It's almost midnight, so I got to sleep. Whatever time I lay down, I got to get 6 to 7 hours of sleep.
You know what? And you will find that people that sleep better typically live longer, typically are healthier, typically have less mental health issues.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why is the fact your body and your brain have to shut down for long periods of time. It's just restorative. It allows you to learn better. Your memory centers are, because they're not being taxed, it allows for you to form more deeply enriched memory patterns. It allows you to heal from the things that we do during the day.
Right.
Okay. We completely take for granted. We get up and go walk outside and, and mow your lawn. There's trauma that occurs to your body in the process of doing those things. Just because you're not hurting doesn't necessarily mean there isn't some trauma that's going on to your body. And so people who sleep well, they live well. They live better.
Well, it's been nice knowing y'all.
Damali, how's your schedule? How do you sleep? So
it depends. I mean, if I got a lot going on, then I may get four hours of sleep.
Is that enough, Doc? It's 4 enough?
Well, the question is, how do you feel when you wake up?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends because what you're saying about the trauma.
Yeah. So
it depends on what I've done. Now, if we've been out, hosting an event and we're out dancing and hugging babies and running all around, then I may feel tired.
Yeah.
But then if I'm not doing all that and I'm just doing paperwork, where I'm just kind of at the computer and stuff, I feel okay. And so but I try to get at least 6 hours of sleep.
Okay.
That's but sometimes it just kind of depends, just kind of depends.
Let me say this, because this scares me with my friends, because I don't drink coffee and I don't drink energy drinks. It scares me with a lot of my friends, but I just want you a little bit to speak to, okay, I need something to help me out. Yeah. I only slept for 2-3 hours, so I'm Red Bulling and coffee in it all day.
Caffeine,
well, listen, you know what, caffeine has a lot of productive properties to it.
Right.
Okay. But anything that you do in excess is not necessarily a good thing. You get people are saying, well, I drink 8 cups of coffee a day. That's not good.
He said that's not good.
That's not good. Now, one cup, maybe 2.
I have a
you know,
friend
you
who
have
drinks a pot.
Okay.
Oh,
Just the whole pot.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So you know, and we won't even get into energy drinks
Mm.
because I mean that's on a whole nother level. And I know this young man over here is looking at me like, really? But you know, we go through different seasons of life, and Sonny, you're in a season of your life right now, and so you know, during those seasons, you know, there are things that we just have to accept.
Yeah,
I'm a physician, and I'm a physician who has a very busy practice. I've been a physician for over 20 years, and if you count medical school, for 27 years. And I happen to be a builder of a practice, builders of practices. So I usually will come in and start a practice from scratch, which means that my time and energy is going to be different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get awoken in the middle of the night all the time. Now, is that going to adversely affect me? Yes, it is. You know, but you know what? That's the price you pay to play, so to speak.
Yeah.
But you know, if I had my wish, then you know, 6 to 8 hours a night, you know, of uninterrupted sleep.
Right.
Because once your sleep's interrupted, you almost have to start that plan again.
Yes.
So you now, you know,
Yes.
if I go to bed at 10, and this commonly happens, I get called at 2:00 in the morning regarding a stroke patient, and I'm wide awake. I have to be able to function. It's not a matter that's going to, you know, let me rub. Can you give me a minute so I can get the sleep out of my eyes? It's not a matter of that. So that's a 15-20 minute conversation. I'm reading imaging. I'm doing all of these things. Now I go back to bed and it's 2:30. I don't go right back into REM sleep.
Exactly.
I start all over
again.
So now I have non-rapid eye movement sleep for longer periods. By the time I wake up at 6:00 in the morning, my sleep is so jumbled to the point where it's like, look, you know what? You're tired, but you got work to do.
Exactly.
And so, you know, but again, that's my life, and you know, and thank God my wife has accepted that and doesn't make too big a deal about it. But you know, it is what it is. But if you can regulate your sleep, it will improve your quality of life.
You know what? Something that you're saying about the natural rhythm of life, how, you know, when it gets dark and you go to sleep, that's how I am. So if the sun is shining, hey, I'm on 900. It's like, let's go, let's make it happen. Soon as that sun starts going down, my battery's like, I'm about out of juice.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what makes it hard for media people, because, you know, in the summertime when it's light until almost 9 o'clock, I got those blackout shades on. Put the dog out and everything. Like, y'all just got to let me try to get some sleep. With the sun out, I can't.
And let's switch gears just a little bit before we go to break, because we'll get a people break. We'll come back because we want to make sure we give them some intentional tips. But we want to just talk about this media and mental health situation
I got a lot
with kids and adults.
Yes.
So what you do is, how bad is it? Give it a grade. Why? And maybe what do we need to do about it?
Okay.
Give it a grade.
Yeah.
Give it a grade first, so we know
grade coming.
A, B, C, D, or F.
I think it's an F.
I knew he was going to say
mental health and media is
I think it's
I
think it's an absolute. If I can put a plus on that.
Oh,
or maybe it should be an F minus.
Oh.
Maybe it should be an F
To
minus.
be even
Should be a
lower.
plus, F minus.
So you've been in our newsroom.
No.
Okay, no, I'm kidding.
and I'll tell you why. Because I thought a lot about this. Back in the 70s and in the 80s, when you had Walter Cronkite and you had Dan Rather, and you had media giants who reported the news as it was.
Right.
They didn't have their own opinion.
Right.
They didn't sit there and critique the fact that the president of Russia is X, Y, and Z, or that our president should be doing X, Y, Z. They reported the news. So they allowed you to interpret what they said, and then you put your own spin on it.
Right.
So if you're a Democrat and the president is a Republican and he does something that you don't agree with, you would hear the story, then it gave you the opportunity to process that information. And what you did with it was up to you.
Right, right.
What we have now nationally is between CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. You can't get a clear picture.
Right.
You have to almost watch all three of them.
And then come up with something.
But in the process of watching all three of them, you are being just bombarded by negativity. No one says anything positive about anyone anymore. Okay. And so it is the most infuriating and I think demeaning challenge that we have now, as far as you have individuals that have to interpret what is being said, that do not have the educational background to have enough information for them to discern what is real and what's not real.
Yes.
Right.
You know, we have a president now who lives in the world of fake news. We have a political structure that is broken. And it was probably broken 20 years ago, but they're doing a really good job of breaking it now.
Right,
Okay?
right.
So how do you stay in tune with what's going on in the world when you have these huge entities that have their own agenda that are not giving you factual information?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Our local news, I think, does a good job of that because they're talking about things locally. I can walk outside and see that it's 90 degrees. I can go to Greenwood and see the great things that are going on there. But when I'm not in DC, I don't see what's going on in DC. And you hear about approval ratings and all of these other things. It is, they should be embarrassed.
Absolutely.
They should be absolutely embarrassed. The way that they have taken a beautiful art form in media and what they've changed it into.
So before Sonny,
you give your grade. And what
grade?
you think, you're not off the hook. I see you try to slide by. So what's your grade for media in terms of mental health and how it?
Grade for mental health, I would have to give it a D.
A D?
Yeah,
That's a
I would
flat
have to
D.
give it a D. Because I'm kind of the same opinion. A lot of the things that Doc said,
That's a lot of people agreeing with you too, Doc, on the live.
I do agree with that, and it seems that if there is a reporter out there who's trying to report the news in a way, it seems like they're gone.
Yeah.
It's like,
wow.
This one particular person that I know is gonna, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see what they're gonna say. They're no more. Their shows are canceled. They're out of here. Because you don't conform to the mess. Because at this point in life, unfortunately, mess sells. Sex sells. So if you're not doing some of the things that sell, right, then it's like, we don't need you. You're out of here. And I have a question for Sonny that I mean, I want her to give a grade.
First.
Okay. But I also wanted to ask, like, when there is a story that happens, no matter who it's about, why is it necessary to go back and drudge up what happened 20, 30 years ago that has nothing to do with the current situation?
I think a lot of times the push to do that is to give some background context and like where the story came from or something. Well, this person was just caught doing a crime, but 20 years ago they did this. Right. Sometimes that adds context, but I'm with you on that. I heard somebody describe it perfectly one time. They said, your job as a journalist is when it's raining outside, you don't go out and interview the rain and ask it how it feels about falling. You don't go ask the ground how it feels about, you report that it's bleeping raining outside. That is your job. And that is our job as local media. We try very, very hard and we get blasted from both sides. Usually that's how we know we're doing something right. If we're getting Republicans that are mad and we're getting Democrats that are mad, we think, well, maybe we're reporting the truth.
Absolutely.
And we're angering both sides.
Absolutely.
And so, and it is very hard at times to just put on the blinders and here's the story. Here's the way it is. You guys make of it what you will. And so it is a difficult thing.
Okay, now you're great.
My grade. On national news, I would say probably I'm with you, either C- or D for national because it's sensationalism sells. Nobody turns on the news and say, "Hey, this fisherman caught a big fish today. Look how happy everybody is." You turn it on because the president did this or this state superintendent did this or whatever.
Exactly.
So you turn it on because you want to be outraged because there's an emotion tied to it, and it's a shame that we've all been conditioned to turn on the news and get angry about something.
Yes.
Right.
And instead of looking for the good side of things. And
Right.
I always, it always makes me mad that the news ends with one positive story. You get some little boy that made a free throw and he's never done it in his life and family goes crazy. And that's always the last story, but they hit you with a million negative things first.
First 25 minutes are negative.
Yes.
Then they go to sports.
Yeah.
Then they go to weather. Then they go to sports. And then they have a positive.
And if the Cowboys are in it, it's still negative.
Well, let me ask you this then, Doc. That's why I'm glad we're doing the medical report along with asking this. So, because you deal with people that have stroke patients. So how much from just news and media do you have people that you can tell it's anxiety from stuff they're watching on the news, the state of what they think the country and all of that?
Well, I think that when someone comes and sees me, I don't have that conversation with
Right.
them about the media. But where the media can play a prominent role in education is by, instead of all of the fake news, is to talk about the importance of health. And things that we can do from a health standpoint. Because listen, that's a lot more clear cut than, our budget and how do we get, our budget in tow.
Right.
You know what? We all know. Stop smoking.
Right.
Okay. Manage your diet better. Okay. You take your blood pressure, take your medications in general. Okay. See your primary care physician on a regular basis. Those are things that are pretty cut and dry. If people decide that they don't do it, then they just decide that. But I think that that's common knowledge. But I get asked this question a lot from patients who not only have strokes, but have any kind of medical condition that will ask me, well, doc, you know what role does stress play in this? Okay. Stress it's not tangible. So I can't say that, hey, 25% of your health risk is stress.
Sure.
But if I have someone who's already anxious and they have a history of depression, or they may have some mental health issues, or they're homeless, or they have these other issues, they have so much stress on them already. Then you add just a little bit of social media, or just a little bit of the things that are going on in the news, and hey, I'm homeless, and you know what? Is the government going to help take care of me? I don't have a means of having a job. So what's going to happen with me? Well, you know what? The media plays a role in some of that, but you know what? You can't really quantify it because, there's so many other things that kind of goes into the stressors of life.
Sure.
But we can do so much better job than we have done. And you know what? It's appalling. There's a reason why, if you look at the number of expats or people that are interested in leaving this country, the greatest country in the world, by far, the greatest country in the world, people that are entertaining the thought of leaving or have left. If you look at that number 20 years ago versus now, it's exponentially higher now. And a lot of it is because of the media. And our government and the fact that, you know what, you feel like if you're a person of color, you feel like a second class citizen.
Right.
Let's do this, and we'll take a quick break. We had a good, but when we come back, let's try to give some tips to the youth, to the kids, because we all know what happened during Juneteenth. To me, that's like it boiled way over, like way too far. But now it's time to go back to school. It's time to get out to the football games. It's time to get to the pep rallies. It's time to do all those things. And we just want to find a way, because there's so many young parents, y'all. Parents, I can't tell who the kid, who the parent,
That's true.
So let's try with us having a little bit more seasoned. We're not older, we seasoned. Let's try to give the young parents and stuff some tips for their kids for the summer to help with their mental health and maybe social media and those things. Is that all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. It's KBOB, y'all. 89.9 FM News. You can use Charles and Damali. Coming back, we're going to get some tips to the young parents and to the kids. We'll be right back, y'all. Are you or someone you know just as involved? Are you or someone you know in need of support services? Don't worry. Fitting Back In got you covered. We offer life skill workshops, career development, job search, substance abuse counseling, and more. We are located at 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74115. Give us a call at 918-592-3500. Follow us at Fitting Back In Tulsa. Also, visit us on our website for services at www.fittingbackininc.org. Our services are available only in Tulsa County.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive. Reaching the community, the Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services. operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, Tulsa. I see you here in Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa chilling.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM.
Looking to take your event to the next level with professionalism and energy? Contact World One Development. We host events, have radio personalities, offer community engagement, and videography. We also do live radio remotes, red carpet appearances, create promos, event recaps, drops, and flyers. We also create customized advertising package to promote your business, organization, or program. Visit our website at worldonedevelopment.com. You can also reach us on social media at World One Development.
KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development, News You Use, Charles and Damali. Damali, we up here having a conversation now.
We are definitely having a conversation. You guys should be taking notes.
Right,
Yes.
absolutely. Get your pen and pad out because I know this has been pretty broad, but we're going to bring it on in and try to actually give some young parents and all parents a few tips, things that, because we have life experience.
Yeah.
So let's just give them a few things. But before we do that, the live is hot, Damali.
Yes.
The live is hot. Let's go to the
So
live
we're
real
going to
quick.
hit a couple of comments that were made. So Uncle Brian says he used to have to be indoors by the time the street lights came on too.
That must be universal.
Uncle Chester said when we were kids, we had to be in the house as well before the street lights came on.
Yes, indeed.
Uncle Brian says most of the keyboard warriors.
That's what you're talking about.
Said
Get on
most of the
cue.
keyboard warriors are nasty, usually are very ugly people who usually live in someone's basement.
Yeah,
I love
that.
it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I got 150 text messages. Y'all gonna have to get on the live because I know this is a deep conversation. It's a good one, man. We got a great team to talk about this today. So today, is it another one, Damali?
Yeah, and here's another couple. And these are for Doc. Uncle Brian says he only gets about 3 or 4 hours of sleep because of prior jobs. It's been linked to his serious health issues. He also says that he used to drink NOS energy drinks, 6 a day. Oh, Uncle Brian, what the world? And he said he thinks they ended up causing his heart attack.
Yep.
He said it would keep him up to the point that he was bouncing off the wall.
Yep. Ephedrine, which is commonly seen in energy drinks, is a stimulant, and they usually will put a high dose of the stimulant in there to kind of keep you active.
Yeah.
Well, a stimulant will absolutely adversely affect your heart and make your heart work harder.
So does it make you like so when you're way up here, then it just kind of makes you bottom out here?
No, what it would do is if you are here and then you take an energy drink, it will increase the workload on your heart, and then eventually, yes, when it's out of your system, your heart will come back down into it's more standard area. But those big fluctuations in any of your organ systems is not good for you.
Maybe I can get a healthy tip real quick before we switch gears.
Okay.
So when I travel, and I know people may do this, and I get to driving, and I'm like, oh man, I'm getting sleepy. And my thought is this is when people be like, man, I'm stopping at Starbucks. I need an energy drink. Give them something else that you can get that's maybe healthy for you that'll bring you up where you can stay alert, because this is what I do. I'm going to go and give it up. I'm going to tell on myself. I'm going to go get some M&Ms with the peanuts. I'm probably going to get some chocolate donuts. I'm probably going to get a Diet Coke. Don't be looking at me like that. Don't y'all judge me. I'm probably going to get some Lay's chips, because if I'm munching on something, because it's literally like, okay, do I do this and make it home?
Yeah.
Because I'm barely making it, Doc. So for me and maybe others, what can you get if you miss your sleep? Because you can't get it on the highway.
Well, listen, you know what? The one thing I don't want people to walk away from this from is thinking that caffeine does not have some beneficial effects.
Right.
When you're that tired, depending upon where you are, you need to pull over and go to sleep.
Pull over.
Yeah. Pull over and go to sleep. Someplace safe, of course.
Right.
That means if you're trying to drive throughout the night, get yourself a motel someplace, clean one, of course.
He said motel.
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Okay. Party doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So the Damali walks in. No,
So, absolutely. You know what? Nothing is more beneficial for you when you're tired than sleep.
Sleep is the best thing. Power nap.
Yeah. And a power. A lot of times you get a 20-minute nap. Hey, you good for 4 hours usually. But if you have to, from a caffeinated standpoint, you know what, coffee, I don't like energy drinks.
Mm.
You know what? Actually eating peanuts, things of that sort, snacking does help. Try a healthy snack.
Mm-hmm.
But particularly if you got long distances to go, you know what? Now it's time for you to get some sleep.
Yeah, and the thing too, you're heading to a wedding, you're heading to a graduation, you're heading to something. So you're like, man, I got to get here by this time. But those are some good tips. Now, okay, now we're going.
So no Lay's chips.
Ooh, don't say that,
Oh,
Josh.
man.
Hold on, now let's pray.
Look, everybody got
Do we do that? Now, prayer
Look, now
circle.
we're all depressed.
Everybody gonna get off the
Okay,
live.
listen, I might say one small bag.
Okay, one
Okay,
small
one
bag.
small
Okay,
bag.
well, thank God.
So let me say for the people, because it's not like you go like anything else you could be addicted to. I'm not saying people are addicted to anything, but if they are drinking so many energy drinks, what can you pull that back to? You got to have coffee. Pull it back to this energy drink. If you got to have it,
6 is bad.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what? The thing is this. I'm not a proponent of energy drinks because they have ephedrine and they have other stimulants in them to help to give you energy and to keep you awake. And over long periods of time, it puts a greater stress load on your heart, on your kidneys, on your liver, on your brain, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
Youth use it a lot of times just because it's like, hey, you know what? What are you doing right now where you have to be so stimulated?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even have a job yet.
Right.
So you need to be stimulated and listening to your parents and doing what they're telling you to do.
Exactly.
But so we can all learn a lesson of just trying the things that you put in your body. Think of your body as a car. You know what? If you put bad gas in a car, it's not going to run right.
That's right.
You put a premium gas, your ride is a whole lot different. If people start thinking about their bodies from the standpoint of what I put in it is going to help me to function at my best, then the rest will take care of itself, I hope.
All right, let's get these tips to just parents in general to maybe something that may help with just media and these kids and them trying to get back into school. Who want to go first?
I'll go first. Okay.
It's the medical report.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? And it's kind of it's a multi-part answer. I would say what as parents, and whether young parents or older parents, it's really important to have regular dinners or regular meetings with your children where you sit down in front of your child. You know what? That's a perfect time to unplug. Get rid of all the phones, all of the devices, put them in another room, put them someplace else, and talk about your day. Okay. Talk about, what are you feeling? What are you experiencing? We as parents have born and raised our children. We know when something's wrong.
Right.
Okay. You know when something's wrong. And sometimes that means that you have to kind of continue on the process of there's something wrong. I know it's wrong. We need to have a conversation about this. And sometimes it's painful. It's painful, particularly when you have children that are lashing out at you. But there's nothing that replaces getting in front of your child. There's nothing that will replace the importance of knowing that your value is established by God Almighty. Your value is not established by your parents.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's not established by your friends.
Right.
It's not established by your teachers. Okay. It's established by God Almighty. Now, you have an obligation to function in society in a way where your parents and teachers and other individuals can look at you hopefully as a productive member of society.
Right.
But one of the challenges is when people are looking at social media as a means of trying to determine their self-worth, that is always going to be fraught with a major issue, because the people that are liked now, they're not going to be liked next month for whatever the reason. It's like nothing's changed about me in the last month. Okay, well, the problem is you got too many likes, so now we need to knock you down a couple pegs. Right. So we need to spend more time in front of our children, pouring into our children, know where your self-worth is. And as far as children goes, we should all try to surround ourselves with positive people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? Why be around somebody who's negative? You know what? You can pray for them. Okay. You can try to mentor them to a degree, but being around people that are just generally negative and not thinking well of themselves or thinking of you is going to be heartache.
Man,
I love that. That's
all right.
good.
So you want to go next?
A couple of tips. One of my favorite things I ever heard from Barack Obama was he said at dinner time with his kids, he asked his girls every day, what was your rose and what was your thorn? And I love that. So I started doing that at the time with my son, who was little at the time. And just the things that he would say, And I would try to encourage him. I'd say, okay, what about that little boy at school that I've heard you talk real bad about that doesn't have any friends or he's irritating or annoying? And so I'd try to kind of get him to move in the direction of wanting to be a friend and not wanting to be an aggressor or a bully. And so I'd say, why don't you talk to him tomorrow? And so when he'd come home the next day, I could say, so what was your rose and your thorn? And I could see the progression of the good things happening versus the negative. And that was
awesome.
good. So I like that about having dinner. And also remember, you're the one that's paying your kids' phone bill. And if they're on social media enough that it is affecting them, then I'm taking it away. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in not being a friend to your child. You are a parent.
Absolutely.
Come
You're a
on,
parent.
sister.
Yeah.
You better say
indeed.
that.
Heck
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
All right, Damali, that's good.
That's good.
I should have went first. That's what I'm trying to decide. At this point, I'm gonna be last. Damali, tips, for the kids and for the parents.
So I would say pay attention to your kids. Because a lot of times, if you're just paying attention and you're watching and being an involved parent, you'll know when something is happening and something is going on because you'll see a different type of behavior. And then once you do that, communicate, right? Let's talk about what's going on. Let's have that conversation. I love that. The rose and the thorn.
rose and the
I
thorn, yes.
love that. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So make sure that you're paying attention, but listen not to criticize,
Right.
but listen just to try to figure out what's going on and how you can help and how you can shape them and steer
Yes,
them
yeah.
into the way that you're trying to get them to go. Because, for us believers, we're always wanting to steer them back to the biblical way,
Yes,
right?
indeed. Yep.
And so sometimes we have to be creative,
Mhm.
because, kids don't want to be churchy,
Right.
So we got to figure out a creative way to get them back to the biblical way, because we want our kids to be respectful, because we are, us that are believers know that a disrespectful child will live half his days. So we don't want our children to be in that boat. So it's our job to mold and shape them in the way they need to be. And then the last thing I'll say is show up.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Ooh.
Lieutenant Sanders was here last week. We do the police report on the first Wednesday, and he was here last week. And one of the things he said was, even if their team is not good, show up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if they're losing every game,
I'm not gonna show up.
show up. And
All right.
Charles said that.
I'm-
See,
If you 0-15,
we
gonna pray together. I'm gonna show up at
You gotta
church.
show up.
You got to find you something else to do. Because what we're not gonna do is that the Harper name be going down 0-15. No, I'm just playing. But where I'm from, we were young. It was like that. If
Yeah.
you lose, and they gonna tell you, "Look, I'm not gonna pay my $5 or $2, and I am not gonna get in my car and get to the
Listen,
up."
I have left the game early.
But see, you showed up. You showed up.
Is that look sunny? Like,
I
is
don't
that
know if
worse?
that's worse. I don't know.
Listen,
Look, especially if you throw your hands up.
Like, oh, man, that's it.
that was not one of my prideful moments. You know what?
That was a thorn.
Yeah.
That was definitely a thorn.
That was definitely
Hey, that was a thorn bush. Yes, indeed.
Look,
yeah.
when
Yes,
sports
indeed.
bring out the best or the worst
Right.
out of all of us.
They do.
How many times do you have to remind yourself you're a doctor at a sporting event when things are not going right and the ref's not? Do somebody have to say, "Doc, Doc"?
Yeah. I'm usually pretty good about that, but you know what? I think that but I also am not one who's going to sit among a bunch of other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
My wife and I, we tend to sit in our own little section. And
Yeah.
Now my wife has on occasion grabbed my arm and said, "Look, you need to calm down."
Yeah. Nobody wants to sit next to my husband and I. They
Don't
hear
do it,
us
'cause
yelling.
it's
They're like, no,
Yeah,
y'all don't.
y'all know
Got the horn. Look, Sonny got the horn out. Boom.
Yeah.
Dope for everything.
Yeah.
For me, what I did, I'm an empty nester right now. Thank God for that. But back then, I just feel like kids have to have a voice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things can seem one way with parents, like you're just getting all the rules and regulations.
Mhm.
But you know how sometimes, Dad, you're not doing, now you know how we do that, Dad. You do what I tell you. And don't
Yeah.
watch me. But we would do sit down and eat, and then we could give each person in the house a grade
Oh,
wow. Okay.
and explain why.
Okay.
And I got to get a grade too for my kids. And I'll be sitting there like, Lord, be on my side. So you sometime it would be, Dad, I'm giving you a C-.
Yeah.
And I would be like, a C-, and you won't know, because they would be young. And I'm like, C-. And I'd be like, why you give me a C-, Matt Turner? Well, you didn't talk to me on the way to school. You was on your phone. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Now, see,
Yeah, I
that's
like
on
that.
me.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Yeah,
I got a
yeah.
C-
Yeah.
because I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to parents, maybe
Mhm.
on the way to school,
Yeah.
don't be on the phone.
Yeah.
Have it. So then after that was our rule.
Mhm.
Right? If I was taking her to school, I put my phone, like we make them put their phone up. I put my phone on the way to school so she could talk and we could have that time. And that ended up some of our best time, you know,
that doesn't mean
together.
drive over the speed limit so you can hurry up and drop her off to get on the
So I can help you get on the phone. But that would be one thing. And you know, and I've always just try to create a platform where you can speak about anything and not have to be embarrassed by it. Now, it might have helped me because I used to be a counselor for a long time with kids. But if you can create a platform, what I tell my kids, if you don't feel like talking to me about it, let's identify a few people.
Right.
Absolutely.
Your auntie, a friend that I know that you can talk. And then you still don't have to tell me. I just don't want you holding on to something or going through something by yourself and feel like you're just by yourself. You know, but anybody that know me, my kids talk to me about like too much. I'm like, I don't want no nothing. You know, they grown, but they so accustomed to being able to, no matter what's going on.
That's a blessing, man.
They come.
That is a blessing. That's a blessing. You know, there is a biblical principle, and we all know it, that men actually are supposed to be raising children. Women are supposed to be our helpmate. That's not the way that it actually is in this world. And you know, so as men, as fathers, we need to be there. You know, now you may not be in the household for whatever the reason, but that doesn't mean that you can't be present in your children's life.
Absolutely.
And you know, in whatever that may look like. So, you know, particularly for men out there, show up, be everything that you can possibly be, because the window that we have with children is very short.
It's real short.
My husband to this day holds this over the fourth grader's head. He missed Super Bowl Sunday to take her to go see a ballet.
Oh,
I know. And so when she's acting out, he'll say, "Remember that time my team was playing and my butt was sitting right in the ballet watching people in tutus." You know, so you're right. You're right. You got to.
That's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one.
You got to be there. You got to.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all those big tips. That was great. You know, because like sometimes people just think things in our lives are perfect. And they're just not. With that,
it's life.
It's life. And life be going on.
It's not perfect.
Okay.
Regular
and what we want to do, because time is going fast. I told you time go fast when you're having fun.
Does.
But Damali,
hot topic?
our main thing, and then we'll go to our Hump Day Hot Topic. Having our friend Sunny come on, is she covers good stories.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and she's covered a great story about us and our trip to Selma, Alabama.
She did.
So first and foremost, how was that for you? Because you interviewed us, and then we'll talk about it. So how was that for you interviewing?
You know, I'm really glad Ron Terrell, my coworker, is the one that brought me the story about Bobby. And I was on vacation, and he called me and he said, "I hate to call you when you're on vacation, but this is a really great story, and it's going to be right when you're getting back. Do you think you can cover it?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely," because it fell on John Lewis's birthday.
Right.
Yes.
When you guys were there. And I said, I don't want that time to pass and people forget about that. I want to talk to him. So it was such a joy. And it's always hard for me because my segments are supposed to be under 3 minutes.
Oh, man.
And I had so much and it's
because we kept talking and talking and talking.
Yes. But it's lovely. I love that. But it's hard for me to kind of edit out the best parts and pull it all together without feeling like I'm ignoring certain things. So I hope you guys were happy with the result, because it was just a lovely story that y'all got to do. And I had no idea that this mentorship is going on with what you do and what you do and what Uncle Bobby does. I think what y'all do is so inspirational. So thank you for allowing me to tell your story.
I love the spin on it because I was surprised about the Uganda piece. I didn't realize that you. So when I saw that, you stuck that in there. I was like, oh my God.
I love that part, only because I feel like one of the things that you said was that the kids go and they think that they've got problems. You said, they don't have the newest tennis shoe, or they don't have this, they don't have that. Then they go and they're in a house where there's not a bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no running water. And they're cooking outside in the kitchen. I think perspective is such a powerful thing. And so many people, if they don't get outside of the confines of their home or their community and they don't see another person's perspective, that's a lot of the reasons that the media can be so negative, is if we can't put ourselves in someone else's shoes to see what their struggles are. How in the world are we going to, as a society, get along when there's all these different communities and we know nothing about them? It's insane. So
absolutely.
I was really glad to be able to tell your story.
You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you
great.
very much.
It was
My
shared
pleasure.
everywhere. So if you missed it, we posted on World One Development. We shared it everywhere. But we did really appreciate that because it was a heartfelt trip. And to be there, it was much more, but I just feel like you did a great job of just capturing it and getting it out to people.
After I seen all your pictures, I wish I was there. I was like, man, that would have been awesome to be a part of. So,
I'll ask you this, and then we'll go to the Hump Day Hot Topics. How do you, for you personally, feel like I got a good story? Like after you done got everything in the play, what makes you say, "Ooh, I got him this time"?
Yeah,
you know,
play that.
Sometimes, usually it's one line. Usually there's a line in there, and I don't know if you saw the piece that I did yesterday, but it was on a lady named Myrtle Watson that opened a home for pregnant teenagers, and she said something. I try to find that one really powerful line, and she said, "When I meet these girls that are so down because they're 13 or 14 and they're pregnant and they have no money or they're homeless or their family doesn't support them," she goes, "I see them as a rosebud. And they just need the opportunity to bloom, to blossom, to open."
Wow.
And it was one of the, I mean, it gives me goosebumps saying
Just
it
say it
now.
right.
Yes.
So I try to find that one thing to focus on. And if I can get one good line and put that in there where it pulls an emotion out of somebody,
Right.
whether it's tears or happiness or joy or wow, then I've done my job. So that's what I look for, those moments.
Yes.
And we have a lot of people on. So when do you have that show? Why do you have that show?
Yeah.
And if somebody think I got a good story, how does it all come about?
All they have to do, if my segment is on Tuesday mornings, it runs at quarter after every hour. So 5:15, 6:15, 7:15, 8:15, and then again at 11:15. And if you have a story that you think would be a piece of really good news, then just email goodnews@fox23.com and tell us about it. And I'll be happy to cover it.
Yes.
Just like that, y'all. Okay, Hump Day Hot Topic.
Hump Day Hot Topic. We're going to jump right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
Hey, guess what day it is?
Hump day!
Hump day! It's hump day!
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on news you can use.
Mike.
And we are back.
Yes. All right. So our lone Hump Day Hot Topic. If you guys have not heard, former Tulsa school board member Dr. Janetti Marshall announces a run for state superintendent.
Right.
You know what? If you guys, those of you who are listening from some other city or state, what's going on in our city is our state superintendent is failing, is what the headlines are saying. They're saying, we were ranked 47 in the nation. Now we're ranked 50.
Hold on, just pause. What do y'all think about that? We ranked 50th. 50. I mean, this is what what you give a one-liner. I mean, whatever you want to do, but I just don't want
ineptitude.
Ineptitude. That's good.
That's a good word.
I would say he's a distraction. Nobody ever in my whole life has known who the daggone superintendent of schools is. And yet everybody was, it's like, why do we even know this guy's name? What exactly? Why he's a distraction. That's my personal belief.
And you know what? Distraction is a perfect word when you think about inappropriate images on his office TV. Man. Emailing pornographic material to other members. That's a crime in the state of Oklahoma to do that. And so he's just doing all kinds of stuff, doing Trump Bibles and just all kinds of crazy stuff.
The only thing,
total distraction.
For me, I don't mind people debating. I don't mind having a difference of opinion. I don't mind any of those things. It just is what it is. But when he said that the other TPS superintendent bus ran off the road, crashed in the ditch, flipped over and burned, I said, "Now, man, how you gonna say that?" I don't know if y'all ever heard that on the news. They were saying the former superintendent Deborah Gist, her educational plan was like riding on the school bus, flipping over in the ditch, and it caught on fire. And I was like, "Come on,
my
now.
God, really?
It's a better way." To deal with that when you in those positions.
Well, listen, but you know what, and that kind of circles back to what we've talked about from a media standpoint.
There you go.
Right? You know what? People feel like they can say anything that they want to say, and that there are no repercussions from it. There's certain things that you just can't do. You can't yell fire in a movie theater.
Exactly.
Right? There's certain things that you just can't do. It used to be that when you had the Walter Cronkites of the world and the Dan Rathers of the world, is that media was it wasn't even so much glorified, but it was the way that you conducted yourself. It had a regalness to it,
right?
Okay? And
you were above the fray.
Exactly. You know what? You were the individual that actually was going to tell everyone essentially the same information that can be processed by you, but it was going to be clear, concise, and it was going to be accurate. You don't have that now.
And Uncle Brian, he gonna always be doing research. So he said in 2015 we were ranked 17th in the nation for education.
Wow.
So just in 2015, we was ranked 17th.
Okay, well, who was that superintendent, and can they come back?
Yeah, right.
And Quarry Minds want to know. Next week on News You Can Use, we will let you know who's coming out of retirement so that we can do better with that. So I'll ask this, and then I know we're going to upcoming events. No, trivia question.
Trivia question.
So now when you're talking about media and all that, and I just want to get y'all thought real quick. Now when you add AI to that, I don't even know what's real and fake no more. I'm like, what is, so when you add AI to all of this, how do you feel about that?
It's terrifying. My own mother will call me and say, "Did you see that awful picture of that puppy that was in the boat in the flood?" I was like, "Mom, that was an AI picture."
Right.
It's so hard to tell. I think it is going to be. It's an emerging problem, and I wish I knew what the answer is. But I do think it's going to be a problem. People can't tell what they're looking at is real and what's not. When you can no longer disseminate the truth from a lie, you're kind of in trouble. So I hope they're able to rein that in and somehow get a handle on it. But it is
because people can now put you with somebody, put you in another country, have you ride in the car, and it looks real.
Well,
you'd be like, so
listen, you know what, this is all a spinoff. This door was opened by Facebook. The best way to have handled this at the very beginning is to have very strict guidelines on how things were done.
Right.
They didn't want to do that.
Right.
Because the most important thing was getting more and more people involved. And now
this is where we are.
You can't unring this bell.
That's right.
You can't unring it. And AI it's terrifying because you can fabricate anything.
Yeah.
I think I'm too far behind too. I'm 50, but I'm running way behind because I was at a hotel in Omaha and I had ordered my breakfast. I was sitting there and looked beside me and seen a robot with my food. Took off running. No. I screamed and it was high pitched. No, I was like, you can't let that out. No. It came out like the robot. I mean,
they have a little robot.
And I love the food, but I wasn't ready because I ordered it at the counter with a guy, and I'm sitting at the table, and it just boom, it's
they
right
got
here.
The Quick Trip too. Have you seen the little robotic things?
Yes,
Quick Trip.
The Quick Trip that road. I haven't seen it. I'm probably stay away from the Quick Trips, but I just got to get. I just got to get used to that, and I think it's needed and it's a spot for it. But to me, I'd be thinking replacement. Because if the robot take your order and go get your food and roll up on me, I don't even hear it. Like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, I just think AI, and I'm with you. So I don't even have to say it's just
it's doing too much.
The accountability. You got to have to put your name on it when you're going to put something out like that. You got to put a name. You can't just let people free flow and just say and do anything to anybody.
You know, the thing about it is with AI is that they can fabricate your name.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
name, likeness,
your voice.
Your voice. Right.
Exactly. I mean, again, you know what? When you have something like this that's unchecked.
Yeah.
So let me ask. So we've been asking folks, how they have used AI. Do you use AI at all?
I don't use AI on purpose because it would be very easy for me to become very lazy.
See, that's been the comment. So, what about you, Sonny?
The only thing I've used it for was when it first came out, I wanted to see what it could do. And so I put a prompt into Chat GPT and said, show me a picture of the Pope riding a lizard. I just wanted to see, and in 3 seconds, boom, there it was. And I went, oh, that's a little. Now, I will say, I know I did not save that picture.
Okay.
It was the first thing that, it was early. I hadn't had my energy drink. No, I just wanted to see what it could do. But I do know that they're saying that there are good sides to it, that it can help with surgeries and it can help detect cancer and things. So there are some uses for it. But I think as far as social media, it's scary. And I'm afraid it's going to take my job. Our jobs,
absolutely.
Right.
And the problem is we have a government right now that they don't have the wherewithal or the desire to try to put some type of constraints on it,
or the understanding of what it could even do.
Exactly.
So
they're going to look at this as, hey, this is a way for us from a capitalism standpoint that we, this can garner our country billions and billions of dollars through this.
Exactly.
Even though we're not going to do it as well as China and other places might, but the challenge that you run into is that if you don't understand the solution, then it becomes a problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry I opened up that can. I just had to get y'all take on it. All right.
Okay. So we're going to move on to the Black History trivia question. I'll read the question one more time so that those who have not had a chance to answer can answer. So the question is Black History Trivia. Who was the African-American businesswoman, inventor, and philanthropist that became a millionaire from cosmetics for African-American women? Was it A, Madam C.J. Walker? Was it B, Annie Minerva Turnbow Malone? Was it C, Harriet Tubman? Or was it D, Maggie Lena Walker? Looks like Charles, Uncle Brian, Patricia, and Marticia said A.
Yeah.
Mom said B. What say you, Dr.?
It's A.
You say A?
I'm going to go with B. I'm just going to think a little outside the box.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I said C. What did I say?
No, you said A.
You said A.
I said A.
You said A.
Yeah.
You always got to have a witness. Where there is a witness,
A.
I said it. Okay, come on.
All right. Well, if you said B, you would be correct.
What?
Annie Minerva Turnbow
Wee.
Malone was more than just a successful businesswoman. She was a visionary who transformed Black beauty industry and dedicated her life to giving back. As one of the first African-American women millionaires, she built an empire with Poro College, a training school that empowered thousands of Black women with skills and economic opportunities. But she didn't stop there. She used her wealth to establish what is now the Annie Malone Children and Family Services, ensuring that vulnerable children and families have the support they needed. Her mission is carried forward to this day to uplift and protect children in St. Louis.
All right.
I love it.
Wonderful.
Yes, good job, Sonny.
Good job.
No, thank you.
Sonny
Thank
came
you.
in
I'd
here.
love to be able to.
I knew.
I just knew it was A.
You
I
mean
know.
you didn't know about
So-
cosmetics? I'm surprised.
But you know
right?
what?
She had
But CJ, Madam
C.J.
C.J.
Walker
Walker.
worked with
She-
her.
okay. You know what? There actually was a story, or not a story. It was a series about her, and I was wondering. There was a woman who she may have gotten her formula from, who they were kind of going back and forth, and that other person also went into cosmetics. I'm wondering if that might be the same lady.
So Annie Malone, actually, according to the research that I did in order to come up with this question, Annie Malone was the one who actually created this formula.
Okay.
She and Madam C.J. Walker worked together.
Yes.
Madam C.J. Walker and the two of them kind of got at odds with one another.
Okay.
Madam
Oh.
C.J. Walker left
Okay.
and did her own spin
Okay.
off of this same
Okay.
formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually worked together. So you were kind of half right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian
But-
says he wants a recount.
I know. I know. And
But
Shannon Lee said,
I
hey.
thought Madam Walker also was a millionaire. I thought she was one of the first.
She was one of the first.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so it's one. She was one of the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have known. I wasn't watching. Right? See,
Now, see, that question is a little misleading because
It's
both
a
of
little
them
bit.
were in cosmetics.
Right.
Both of them
It's
were
a little bit
millionaires.
weird. That-
Yeah.
She did that
So
on purpose.
now-
I knew it was
Okay.
something going on because
Okay.
Damali looked, and then Sonny, she started doing the Dougie a little bit. I know. She found out. I said that she didn't go with. I said, I see. That's why I want to change my answer, but you got me caught. You said no. You said it. I said, I got to stick with it. Hey, now. That's all right. Good
Listen,
job, y'all.
You know what? I think if you had A or B, you were both right. And
Right.
that's
Good
good.
job. All right, give us a little music. We going upcoming events. We're gonna get out of here, y'all. Appreciate
All
y'all
right.
tuning in. Click share. We're gonna get into the things that are going on in our city.
All right, upcoming events. So don't forget, Soul of Sunday happens every single Sunday with Corey D from 1:00 p.m. until 3:00 p.m. on nycu.fm or on Facebook at nycu.fm or Corey D. Taylor. The Eastern Oklahoma VA Healthcare System Town Hall meeting is happening today at 5:00. It's from 5 to 6 o'clock at the Ernst Childers VA Outpatient Clinic located at 8921 South Mingo Road. It's on the second floor. Here, veterans will learn more about women's health, whole health, and food nutrition. Doc, I'm sure you'll be happy about that. Okay. And then the next one is a community engagement meeting. It's going to be happening August the 25th at 6:00 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's going to be happening at the 36th Street North Event Center, located at 1125 East 36th Street North. This is sponsored by the Northside Neighbors. Dinner is going to be provided, and let me tell y'all, they've been having some really good dinner now.
Yeah, some good dinner.
Some
Come
really
on
good
to
dinner.
the community engagement meeting now.
Okay, and then lastly, coming up on Saturday, this Saturday is going to be our Spreading Hope Back to School Bash.
Yes.
It's going to happen from 11 o'clock a.m. until 3 o'clock p.m. Registration opens up at 9:30. Remember, Charles always says the early bird gets the worm. So if you get there early and get in line, then you're going to have a great time, and you're going to be able to register for all of the amazing things that are going to be happening. There's going to be youth resources that start at 11:30. Youth resources and empowerment, let me say. At 1 o'clock, there's going to be the Oklahoma Parent Center. They're going to help you with understanding IEPs and 504s for your child. At 1:30, we're going to talk about disability law and disability rights. In addition to, we're going to be giving away backpacks, which that'll happen around 2:45. So this is more than just a back to school event. This is, there's a lot going on. There's going to be therapy dogs there. There's going to be a calming center for those who are disabled and dealing with those type of issues. MC Ramal Brown, the hometown heat, is going to be there. There's a lot of different partners that are going to be participating in this event, and we want to just give, I want to take just one quick moment. We got to get out of here, but we want to give a shout out to Attorney Hugh Robert, Sweet Lisa's, Greenwood Avenue, Tulsa Big Wheels, Lori Campbell, Chris McThurin, State Farm, Rare Breed Motorcycle Club, Quick Trip, American Bank of Oklahoma, Rubicon Restaurant, the Individuals Car Club, and there are so many others who have volunteered, who have given school supplies and backpacks for us to pass out. This event, we normally pass out about 1,200 backpacks. So you guys make sure that you are in attendance, because we're going to have a great time. Now, we got one more.
Oh, okay. No, I thought.
Okay. And we're going to hit birthdays. So today, the 13th, Sansa Ray Robbins and Jennifer Ellis have birthdays.
Happy birthday. Two of my favorite people right there.
And then on the 16th, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, and happy heavenly birthday to Terrence Crutcher. And Aunt Dean has a birthday.
Down there in Arkansas. But we got Arkansas, Florida, Texas.
Yes.
Mr. AJ, I see you on there. Hey, our special guest here, Grand Slam. Shout out to y'all. It's the second is the medical report, doc. Man, good to see you. Still looking good, man. You still hanging in there?
I don't think I look as good as my AI, though.
Not good as that AI. Did y'all see that AI?
My hair was long and wavier than normal. I'm looking good in AI.
Hey, our biggest thing is we always try to encourage people, leave people with something positive. And so whatever your final thoughts want to be, if you want somebody to follow you on something, you got something going on. I know your show is Friday. Anything you got, final thoughts.
Listen, my final thoughts are we need to know that God's in control. It's so important in this day and age where things seem to be so upside down in so many different ways. As a African American man, it's very important for me to reach out to other African American men that we need to be present in our children's life. And so some of these issues that are out there in the world that are causing suicide at early ages and causing depression and anxiety and things of that sort really falls in the lap of us not being as present as we need to be.
Yeah.
So you know what? We can't do anything about yesterday, but we can darn near do something about today and in the future. So Black men out there, show up. Be present in your children's life.
That.
Just like that. Just like that.
Awesome.
Sonny, our special guest.
Oh, wow. Well, how am I supposed to follow that? That's fantastic. Yeah. I will say this. I'm not an African American man, but I'm an ally to those and to anybody who feels like they've been oppressed, depressed, sad on social media and getting beaten up on. I'm going to be an ally to people. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. It doesn't extinguish your light to give your light to somebody else. So if there's if you want to have
and makes your light brighter.
Exactly. And if you have a good news story that you want me to cover to shine a light on somebody doing something positive or being an ally or being a supporter or being just a darn good person, reach out and let me know about it so I can cover it too. And the more these positive stories hit the air, the less room for the negative we have in media, right?
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Damali, what's your final thought?
Final thought, guys, school is going to be starting next week.
Yes.
So let's make sure that we are paying attention in school zones. Yeah. I do not want to hear a story about a baby that did not make it because we are flying through school zones. So let's make sure that we are paying attention. And then once again, let's make sure that we are communicating and giving our kids the room and the space for them to express themselves so that they don't have to worry about what's being said on social media, that they understand that they are valued, they are beautiful, they are loved, and somebody cares.
Right. And my final thought would be, Sonny, thank you so much for allowing us that you covered that story. Because I was thinking, I don't know who going, because we talking about Bloody Sunday, the Edmund Pettus Bridge,
Mhm.
John Lewis,
You did
Black
all right.
History Saturdays, and all that. And you felt like Sunny was an ally because she was
Oh,
like,
thank
tell your story. And she took that and put it in her pot and put some seasoning in there with some potatoes. And she poured that thing out on
Yes.
us, and it was phenomenal.
Yes.
That's
So
the
thank
highest
you.
compliment you can give me. Thank you. I was honored to tell the story.
Yeah,
indeed.
and Doc, as always, you 5+ years, so you know we love you. Good to see you back here today, man, and just blessings over everything that you do to
Yes.
just impact so many. Because people, again, y'all, Dr. Fredo is not your primary physician. This is just a show. If you got something going on, 'cause now you everybody doctor. I don't know, local, national, international. You everybody doctor. Just from your point, but I know you are helping people lives. People drinking more water. They trying to get rest and do those things. So we appreciate that. All right, and my final thought is spread more love and less hate. To reach us here on the show for advertising, hosting, marketing, promos, community engagement, or to appear live on our show, go to nyc.fm, complete the form. Somebody will get back to you, and go subscribe, and you'll get the breaking news first. This has been News You Can Use. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper.
And I'm Damali Wilson.
And we are live every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So make sure you tune in.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host and their guests, and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other group or individual associated with KBOB 89.9 FM.
And that's it, y'all. Love
It's
y'all.
a wrap.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all.